Hello, and welcome to Homer for Sunday, March 16th, 2025. Let's do it. Kai totete Meleager neus donos paraquetes, licitoro roene kai hoi catalex en hapanta. Cedo hosantropos in pelle kai astu aloe. Andras men ctenus ipalindete pura matune. Necnete aloe gus ibatus donus te gunaikas. Turo rina totumo secu ontos cacaverga. Pedi enaicro idente edus et opam vanonda. Hosumenai tuolloisine päämunen kakoneimar. Eiksa soi tymoi toi työkäti tooretelesan. Pola te kai karienta kakonde muuna kai autos. Great. All right. Then it was that his fair-belted wife begged Meleager with wailing and told him all the woes that come on men whose city is taken. The men are slain, and the city is wasted by fire, and their children and low-belted women are led captive by strangers. Then his heart was stirred as he heard the evil tale, and he set out to go and put on his body his gleaming armor. Gleaming pamfanonta. Thus did he ward from the Italians the day of evil, yielding to his own heart, and to him they paid not the gifts many and pleasing, yet even so he warded evil from them. Kakondemun nakayautos, right? So in usual stories in the myth, there's a firebrand, right? And there's this knowledge. I mean, this whole family is obviously very messed up because Phoinix is like slighted Artemis, right? And then Althea, has like, Althea is disappointed that like Meleager in the disputation over the dead boar that they killed, that like he killed like one of Althea, who's Meleager's mother's brothers, and so she curses him, and she's told that like if she burns a firebrand, right, then like his life will die, right? And anyway, so here we don't have the firebrand, right? So we simply have human consequences, right? And it's very important that the consequences here be that, first of all, it's important that, his wife is able to convince him. So as opposed to, they sent priests, they sent many women, they sent his sisters, they sent the best of the like fellow warriors, right? Nobody's able to convince him, and he's stuck inside his room as they're like climbing over the city walls and lighting the city on fire, right? That was the end of yesterday's reading. Here, rather, you have this sensation of the wife is there, right? Maybe it's because the wife is perhaps metaphorically, perhaps literally already inside the thalamos, right? Which is the sort of like bedchamber, right? She's able to convince him, or at least tell him of these horrible things that, I mean, conceivably they also talk about, right? But, basically he realizes, okay, like now it's serious. And so he goes out and fights. And for some reason now, right, it's too late, right? So there are no spoils. It's difficult to imagine, if a person like saved your city, right, as he, I guess, does here, not at least giving him something, right? But toi ducati doretele son, right? So they do not accomplish, the gifts, for him, right? The many and pleasing gifts. It's difficult to say, whether or not they would have been pleasing at all, right? I mean, clearly Meleager has other problems here, right? But the allegory is obviously supposed to be parallel to Achilles, who must also, and this I think is the most crucial part, he must also exas hoi tu moi, right? So there must be an allowance of his spirit, right? Hoi tu moi, within which, the spirit, right? Hoshomen I toiloisina päämunen kakoneema. Lots of long upsilons from this fend off word, päämunen, and mune, gosh, excuse me. Anyway, but this evil day, right? What's the the Aristotelian sense of unity in drama? All drama has to be in a single day. This is a very Homeric phrase, kakoneimar, right? Bad day. If you think your day is bad, you know what I mean? Could be worse. You could have, cacahuerga, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. I think it's, this is a negative story, right? So, Meleager is convinced because of these evil things that might happen, right? It's interesting that, this word zdolnus, right? Raised. I think it's interesting, the etymology. It's like, it's often translated as deep belted, right? But, it's like zdol, I think is the initial, sort of root of that is like, also where we get zoology, right? So it's like animalness or like raisedness, right? Sort of that sort of taxonomy. I don't know, you know what I mean? But like, it's deep here and it's well here, right? And, his wife Cleopatra is able to do the heavy lifting here. Anyway, there's many ways to pick apart the Meleager myth, but the only one that I want to note here is that Meleager doesn't die. So in many of the other myths, there's a firebrand that his mother is entitled to burn in order to end his life, and she often does because she's very disappointed that he has killed one of her brothers in the disputation over the parts of the boar that he gives to somebody else, aka Atalanta, who is a very cute girl, right? That also helped in the hunt, and he really likes her. And mom is not happy about the death of her brother on behalf of fending off or trying to get the spoils to give to Atalanta. But he doesn't die here. As far as the allegory goes, Phoinix thinks it's yet worse that he does not receive the polata carienta gifts. You be the judge, which you think is more severe and whether you think this is going to work or not. Anyway, we will see the exciting conclusion to this tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.